Not an expert, not a professional, I'm just a guy looking to leave today better than I found it. And if you're like me, you're constantly looking for ways to improve yourself. My name is Wade, and this is the place where we learn to be better together. It's time for Feel Good Friday.
Making a difference. Standing for what's right. A better tomorrow starts here. From the Do Good, Be Great studios, you're listening to the Daily Good.
That's right, the end of the week is here. Happy Friday, everybody. It is time to feel good. Hey, got a question for you. Did you receive allowance as a kid? And if you did, what kind of things did you buy with that allowance? I'm about to put you to shame. Xavier Elliott is on a mission to make clothes for homeless children in Phoenix, Arizona, using fabric he buys with his own allowance. After serving with the U.S. Army in Iraq, Xavier's father experienced post-traumatic stress disorder, and their family ended up in about 6 different homeless shelters. Stephanie Elliott, Xavier's mother, told the Huffington Post in an email. Elliott's husband now volunteers with the Honor Guard. Now that the family is back on their feet and no longer homeless, the 10-year-old wants to help other people. After sitting with his mother while she was sewing her purse, Xavier decided he wanted to try sewing himself, but for a cause. Quote, I think the idea came to him from everything we have endured and wanting to make a difference for other people. Elliott, who runs Arizona Veteran Families, an organization that helps vets and their families find resources and support, told the HuffPo. Quote, I think he took the volunteering he sees now and made it his own. As he completes the clothes, he plans to give the donations to local shelters, including the Salvation Army, Crisis Nursery, and UMOM New Day Center, one of the largest family homeless shelters in Phoenix. Xavier is currently using his mother's sewing machine until he receives enough support for his own equipment. But as he makes more trips to local fabric stores and receives donations from his Facebook page, he hopes his charitable operation will be well on its way soon. Quote, I hope it encourages other people to help me, Xavier told KPNX, so I could help other people. Xavier, at 10 years old, spending his allowance on something so noble, makes me feel like all those years of buying Pogs was kind of a waste. Way to go, Xavier. We are so proud of you. And from Today.com, a very uplifting story about a dad and a daughter celebrating their birthdays with 39 random acts of kindness. You know, anyone can make a wish for birthday presents, but a father and daughter celebrating their birthdays chose to be the gift givers as they performed 39 random acts of kindness. Lee Beck and his daughter Emily of Oxford, England, decided to mark their 32nd and 7th birthdays respectively by adding up their new ages and executing as many good deeds to mark the occasion. Lee told Today.com via email that they are floored by the international reaction to their deeds and a related video he posted on June 13th on YouTube, especially because the mission had begun as a private challenge before local media learned of the story. Quote, from there it has taken off a bit and I now feel that I would like to do it again, but keep it all private, he wrote. The attention has all been a bit overwhelming and I think it lost a little bit of the magic for us. That being said, we are so happy that it had inspired so many to go and do something similar. According to a list appearing beneath Lee's YouTube video, the father and daughter's kind gestures included hiding treats for co-workers of Lee, who later emailed them on his birthday to look in his desk to claim them as a reward for giving them the day off. Setting flowers on a war memorial in honor of VE Day. Writing thank you letters to Emily's teacher, Emily's mother, and Lee's former lecturer. Picking up trash at a park, registering Lee for organ donation, buying food for the Oxford Food Bank, giving art supplies to the Oxford Children's Hospital and books to the Oxford Children's Library, dropping chocolates off at a local police and fire station, donating to an Oxford homeless shelter, a mental health program, and a nonprofit helping wild birds, as well as distributing free bubble-blowing kits for kids. Lee, a scheduling administrator at Oxford Brookes University, described Emily as an intellectually curious girl who loves gymnastics, nature, and reading. She was excited about their joint initiative, he wrote. Quote, she agreed that helping others would be a good thing to do, he added. She remarked on people who didn't have food or home, and that is a sad thing. Although every gesture brought joy to the generous twosome, some continue to resonate. Among them, Lee's favorite activity of the bunch involved buying a plant for the Sobel House, Hospice's garden in Oxford. The staff looked after my grandma, and to be honest, I didn't really know much about them until we started the challenge, he wrote. It was a pleasure to go over there and meet some of the staff. As for Emily, she enjoyed leaving a sign and a collection of pennies next to a, quote, wishing bridge, noted Lee. We watched people from afar, and everyone who passed stopped. Wishes are pretty cheap, and it brightened people's day. At the 3:55 mark of Lee's video, he surprises Emily with a present of her own. Quote, you know how you've been doing lots of nice things for other people today? He asks. I thought because you've been super kind, we would do something nice for you. She's since become a celebrity of sorts. Quote, she has enjoyed the experience of being on a radio and a BBC TV show, Lee wrote, and is happy that others have been inspired to do something similar. Lee confirmed that there are plans to do 41 random acts of kindness when he and his daughter celebrate their birthdays next year, albeit in a more private fashion. But if there's a major benefit to doing this in public, he wrote, it's bringing attention to the charities, organizations, and groups that his family supports. He added, they are the true heroes of the video. And speaking of that video, as well as the story of Xavier out of Arizona sewing for the homeless, we're going to have that all linked up for you at Do Good Be Great on Facebook. Never miss a Daily Good broadcast, as well as the Do Good Be Great podcast by subscribing to Do Good Be Great on iTunes. My friends, we will see you for Motivation Monday next week. But until then, have a great weekend and continue to be great.
Daily Good.